Hello and welcome to another episode of Know Your Type. I'm actually sat in one of my favourite childhood places. I'm in Jersey in the Arts Centre where I've probably spent most of my childhood. I'm sat with Rachel Huelin, who was someone that I used to message you quite a bit every now and again. You know, my mum used to send you little messages every now and again asking for advice, and so this might be a new thing for quite a lot of people, is the fact that you can actually track diabetes from pregnancy, which is called gestational diabetes. It's quite common, isn't it? Like it's something that my sister's a midwife, and it's something that I know that they're quite hot on testing. She's pregnant at the moment, and because of me being a diabetic, she's having to do all of these tests.
Oh, is she?
So I was like, you're welcome.
Oh. Your fault. Yeah, so little did I know, but I ended up becoming really quite enormous towards the end of my second pregnancy, with the hugest bump, and doctors became quite concerned. I was having a very large baby, and that can be a sign of gestational diabetes, which is a diabetes that kicks in when you are pregnant. And I think, as far as I remember, the sugar is passing in from you into the baby and also into my bloodstream, as it does when you are diabetic. And then I ended up having to have my baby 2 weeks early and a C-section because she was, I think, almost 10 pounds then.
Wow.
Luckily she was fine, and then I thought I was fine, and my 6-week post-baby checkup was absolutely fine. And that was everything sorted, I thought. Until my children were 4 and 2, so 2 years later. Very busy with the little children, taking my eldest one to school, having the little one in tow. Always had a bottle of water in my hand. It was summer, I remember it was July, and it was boiling, and I was parched and tired, and I thought, this is really exhausting actually, having 2 lovely little children. But then I actually did feel exceedingly tired, so I went to the doctor, and she did a dipstick into a little pot of pea, and it came out really sugary. And so that afternoon I was referred straight down to the diabetic centre in town, and shock of my life, really. Diagnosed with type 1.
Is it the same sort of symptoms with gestational diabetes as it is for normal diabetes?
Well, that's a good question, actually. I don't really think it was. I mean, I felt fine when I was pregnant.
Is it similarly treated?
I wasn't given any treatment for it as such, apart from having the baby early. And they said as soon as you have the baby and your system settles down, it will, resolve. So that's when I was diagnosed, and I have to say... Properly diagnosed, my sugars were off the scale, and... they wanted me to go into hospital to get sorted out, but actually, because I had my 2 little children and I was working, and I just really didn't want to be in hospital, so I went and saw the nurses at the diabetic centre and the doctors, and they helped me get into a routine of injections. But I was mightily shocked, I have to say. I had 2 weeks where I couldn't stop crying. I think it was such a shock, and I know you wrote about this bomb, as it were, going off and affecting everybody around you, and it is a massive shock, isn't it, really?
So obviously, at 34, when you got diagnosed the second time, you're probably the only person that's had it twice. At 34, you've got your whole life mapped out. You've just got 2 kids, Toby and Ella. They're young. You're doing courses. What
Well, I just enrolled to do a primary school teacher training. But I was going to do it at home with the Open University, and this was the plan. And my huge box arrived with, actually in those days, a computer. It's very modern. And books and all sorts. And I was all excited. And then this hit me, and my immediate thought was, I just can't do it. I can't go to work. I was still working part-time by then, every morning as a speech and language therapist with little children all the time, which is very busy and demanding of your energy, and I can't do it anymore, I honestly thought I'd have to stop doing everything. And then I think a lovely chat to my mum, and very sensible, and she was just get your head round it, don't battle it, don't fight it, and when you feel a bit better, when you get yourself into your diagnosis and on your treatment and you start feeling a bit better, just have a rethink. And I think, you know, you're very much the same. You know, you cannot let it get you down and stop you doing what you want to do.
Mm.
I think you just have to try if you can and get your head round it and accept it a bit, don't you? Even though you, obviously you'd wish it was different, but you know, you're an absolute inspiration. It hasn't stopped you in your tracks at all. And and I do think about you doing your West End show, and so if you can do that, I can carry on doing my bits and bobs, you know. And
well, it's just about talking. It's just about talking, and you know, because like you said, you know, even with doing the show and doing managing it, you know. You might say it's inspirational, but actually, you know, I go through my own personal battles of like managing it, and you know, it scares me sometimes when my diabetes goes a bit pear-shaped, and I'm getting these readings that I don't understand, because it makes me feel like I'm doing a bad job, and it's not it's not necessarily on myself, but it's on the people that might, you know, my parents might be worried about me and all the rest of it, and sometimes. When you have those bad patches, you don't want to share them with people, because you feel you feel like you're letting not only yourself down, but other people.
You feel a bit useless, I find. I'm like, how can I not get this right? You know, when you're used to managing your life and your work and your children and what your home and everything. How come I can't always be on top of this? But it's just a very erratic, unpredictable disease,
it's the most conditioned.
Conditioned. Sorry, yes.
Well, I don't know. People say it is what you think of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes, you know, with little children, I was so tired. I just wanted to go to bed early, and I'd have
you
to
got
set an
school
alarm.
runs and I
just set an alarm to wake up at 10:30, 11 at night to do an injection, and I was like, I could just do without that. I can manage everything else. But for me, that was actually a bit of a bother.
You had to draw a line.
So I went to speak to the diabetic nurses here, who are wonderful, as you know, and they said, I think we could probably try that, and they readjusted everything. So now I do a long acting in the morning with my short acting, and short acting, and then short acting, and it's worked brilliantly for me, actually.
And like we said, we don't sort of recommend anything or sort of say if that's right for you, it's right for you. It's not the be all, but it's helped you, and that's fantastic.
I mean, I don't think I'd really heard very much about it. You hear the word diabetes, but you don't know anything about it. Well, I didn't, certainly.
Well, you hear about it.
Did you? I had no idea, really.
I had absolutely. I mean, I was a 15-year-old boy, just you know, doing GCSE biology. That's all about. I knew about any sort of like cures and disease, conditions and all the rest of it. But no, I had no. My granddad was type 2 diabetic, but I never really understood anything what that was about,
And granddads don't really talk about those sort of things.
No,
do they?
no one does. No one does. You
Nobody
said
does.
this is the first time that you've really even so thank you for sharing it.
Thank you for asking me, really, because, you know, thankfully I haven't met anybody my sort of age with diabetes, or, you know, thankfully I wouldn't want anybody else to have it, you know, but it is quite a lonely thing to manage, isn't it? And you don't want to burden people with it, and yet it is a big thing that you have to look after,
because you know what affects yourself. You know, it's you know where your levels are.
That's
you can't have anyone else tell you that or control that for you. So, obviously, you know, being a mum, and if you've got diabetes and you're looking after someone, you obviously put your family first, and you know they're in your thoughts the whole time. Whereas diabetes is something that can really, you know, affect your thoughts, affect your moods, affect your
how you feel,
everything else, how you're feeling,
your energy levels, you know, that sort of thing. And I guess because my two were little, they were only 4 and 2, and suddenly I had this whole new thing to manage. And I remember saying to my hubby, shall I just go for it and do the injections with the children, you know? And I called them my clicky pens, and you just, you know, with a meal like this. And they'd just grown up with me doing that, really. And I thought probably that would be better. Talk about my clickies. Mummy just needs to do a clicky. Oh, I've forgotten my clicky. Where is it? You know, whatever. Talk about it in family life. But really, nice so that they've grown up with that, rather than finding out later, really, and being more observant as an older child. What you're doing, you know, and having to talk about it then. I think for me it helped that I just sort of got on with it and, you know, did that.
Included them as well, though, you know. we both just had a moment, didn't we? Yeah, I was sort of starting to like pale off, and
got me old glucose tablets out and a
she
bit of
saw
a
the
bouncy
signs and boosted me back up. I didn't even realise that I was going low, but you obviously knew before
the
I
colour
did.
just drained a little, and you went a bit quiet.
Yeah, no, I normally we've all got our signs.
But we're bounced back again.
Yeah, we're all good.
Yeah,
we're
all
bounty and
good
ready to go.
I didn't give up on anything. I did keep going with everything. I did get my primary school teaching done. I still work as a speech and language therapist with gorgeous little busy children every day, and my children are grown up now, 20 years on, you know, and touch wood. I'm fine. Fine. You're mad, said Jonny.
No, I don't think any of us are fine. We put on a smiley face.
Yes,
it's good.
Yeah. But there are sometimes some scary moments. Yeah, you can feel a bit hideous at times, you know.
Well, I think it's important to also just reiterate the importance of looking after. I mean, it's all very well to say, you know, it's all going to be fine and, you know, look after yourself, obviously do all of those things. But it's all very well to say that diabetes is a scary condition as well. There is a serious side to it. So I always describe it as, you know, flying a kite. You know, you can fly around as much as you want to, but just don't let go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't ever let go.
No. And I read somewhere or thought somewhere, I manage my home and family, I manage my job, and this is a third job really. You have to manage your condition
24/7.
Yeah. And I think it is quite nice today to speak to somebody about it. Really,
we're always here to chat.